Hi, my name is Steve Nichols, and today I'm going to take a few minutes to cover the Oracle Database Multilingual Engine for JavaScript. Today I'm going to go through a couple deployment options for deploying your JavaScript code into your Oracle Autonomous Database. Now, my recording here picks up right where Chip Baber's recording leaves off. Chip's done a tremendous job at introducing you to the MLE feature in the Oracle database. He walks through how to develop the JavaScript code, how to bundle it, and how to deploy it into an Oracle database. In his example, he leverages the Oracle Apex environment for the IDE. In my examples coming up here, I leverage the SQL Developer Extension for VS Code along with SQLcl, and I also just demonstrate another way of deploying your JavaScript code using pure SQL and PL SQL. Now, everything I'm going to cover today is available in my Markdown, which will be available in the description of the recording. It walks through the documentation, the prereqs, which is basically watch Chip's recording, go through his setup. It creates the users, gives you the correct grants, and deploys his JavaScript code. It's all available for you in his GitHub repository. And then where mine picks up is if you just want to use VS Code, SQL Developer Extension, or natural or native SQL or PLSQL without Apex as a workspace, I provide you examples for that. So we're going to dive right in. I'm going to open up VS Code. You can see that I have an connection already established to my environment, where I deployed Chip's setup. You'll see that I already have a JavaScript module and an environment defined and the functions that he deployed as well. Now I'm going to walk through how to do this purely in SQL Developer. So the first thing we're going to do is open up a new terminal. We need to clone his repository. I'm going to go to a directory that is going to receive that clone. Now that his repository has been cloned, we're going to open up the SQLcl command line for this connection. We can do a couple commands to see what directory we're in. We're going to change directories to where the clone took place. And you can see in this directory is the PDF transform bundle.js file that we're going to use to create the module. So using the MLE command inside of SQLcl, we'll create the module and pick up the code that was in the GitHub repository. You can see that the module was created. If we go up and do a refresh, we'll see that there's now a module 2. Now we need to create an MLE environment off of that. And so what we'll do is we'll right-click on the environment and say create. And here we can just enter in a name, PDF transform 2. Now that the environment's created, we want to associate the module that we created using the SQLcl. So we want to right-click on that and say add imports. We want to pick our new module. We want to enter a name for that module. We'll call it PDF Live Module 2. We'll click Apply. If we come up and refresh, again, we'll see that we now have an environment that's associated with the new module that we created using the SQLcl command. So now we're ready to create the actual database function based off of the JavaScript code. So we want to go up to our connection and right click and say open SQL worksheet. Here we can paste in our code, create a replace function. As an MLE module, we give it the module name and the environment. And if we execute that, we now have a function called PDF count2. If you look at your functions, we have a PDF page count2 available. And now let's test it. So we've already loaded documents into our database following Chip steps earlier. So if we just say select file name, use the PDF page count2 MLE function for a specific document, you'll see that it works. So this document happened to be the Constitution PDF, and you can see that there were 19 pages available in that document. So the next walkthrough, or next option we're going to walk through is using pure SQL. So if you just want to run a SQL script that will pick up the code from Chip's GitHub repository, create an MLE environment, create an MLE module, and then after that we can create a function and test it out. So in order to create a MLE module using code that you've written using pure SQL, you have to store that JavaScript code in a table, in a user table that's defined by you. So I have a create table statement in my code here that will receive and store that JavaScript code, and then we can just use SQL commands to create the MLE module. So we're going to create this table. If you come up here now, you'll see that we have a table created, user MLE modules code. The next thing we're going to do is actually leverage that table in a SQL script to do the following. So this is a pretty basic SQL script. It has some variables defined at the top. We're going to create a module named PDF module 3, an environment called PDF transform 3. The path to the PDF transform bundle JavaScript that's in Chip's repository, this is the path to that. And we're going to leverage some dbms cloud commands to actually grab that file, store it into a variable. We're going to insert it into the table we just created. And then once it's inserted into the table, we can use create a replace MLE module command. And how that works is you have to select the clob that stores the JavaScript code from another table in your schema. And then it'll create the module off of that. Once the module is created, we'll create a replace an MLE environment using that module, and then we're ready to create a function. So if we run this script, you'll see that the JavaScript code was retrieved from the GitHub repository. It was inserted into the table, and there was an MLE module created along with an environment. If we do a refresh here, you'll see that we have PDF transform 3 now as an environment. You'll see that we have a JavaScript module 3. If you go to the table, if you actually look at the data in this table that we created, you can see that the insert statement inserted the module name, the size of it, the link, and then the actual code itself. So now that we have a module created and an environment created off of that module, we can essentially go back very similarly to what we did earlier, and we can create a function off of that. So this function is going to be the same as the last one, but it'll be called PDF page count 3. Now that the function's been created, exact same as what we did for the previous example, let's use PDF page count 3 to see how many pages are in our document. Again, it's the constitution.pdf, and there's 19 pages. So just to wrap up, Chip Baber a few months ago shared a great recording on an introduction to MLE and the Oracle Database. He packaged that all up and deployed it into a GitHub repository. My recording here simply picks up where he left off and shows you 2 alternative methods for deploying your MLE code. One using SQL Developer Extension with SQLcl commands, and the other one is using pure SQL PL SQL. Hopefully you found this interesting, and thank you very much.